Before 9/11, I used to offer various organizations like churches and universities a presentation on Islam. I got an invitation about once every 3 months. After 9/11, I was literally besieged with invitations. Islam was in the spotlight. Imagine going to Google to find out which religion is the most searched on the internet. Type the words Christianity, and then Judaism, then Hinduism, then Buddhism, and then Islam. I did exactly that, and this is what I found. I found that surprisingly, the searches on the word Islam were exactly double the sum of the searches for all other 4 major religions. But why Islam? What is it that makes people want to learn about Islam? So again, I went to Google Trends and I typed Islam and Jihad, then Islam and violence, then Islam and terrorism, and then Islam and women. And surprisingly again, I found that the searches for Islam and women were exactly double the searches on jihad, violence, and terrorism put together. So I discovered that Islam is the religion that most people want to know about, and women in Islam is the aspect of Islam which most people are interested in. Since 9/11, I have been traveling around the world lecturing to non-Muslims on the true image of Islam, and I have personally seen many people embracing Islam. And I observed that the women who embraced Islam were many more than the men. Could this be true, or was I just imagining it? So I said to myself, let me check it out. On the website of the Center of Islamic Studies at Cambridge University, one of the most reputable universities in the world, it states that 3/4 of British converts are women. Gothenburg is the 2nd largest city in Sweden. Imam Ahmed al-Mufti is the director of Gothenburg Mosque. He spoke to us about his observation.
During the past few years, around 400 people declared their faith after reading, attending lecture, and coming to ask about Islam. Surprisingly, over 300 of them were women. Men were only around 25%.
When I checked the annual report of Discover Islam, an international organization which is based in the Gulf, the numbers varied from one year to another, but the percentage of women converting to Islam was always around 70%. What about other parts of the world? The Far East, for example. I talked over the internet with Hanan, a Chinese convert and an active member of the Serving Islam team. Serving Islam is an organization that participates in the Hong Kong Annual Book Fair and distributes books and copies of the Quran.
In the year 2009 to 2010, for example, over 100 people have embraced Islam, and 97% of those were women. And ever since, we have been witnessing sisters coming into Islam every week, and women will always the winners. That's why our Sunday classes are filled to the brim with sisters, with only a handful of brothers.
That now it's really coming down to a challenge for us, because the Islamic law that the jihadists want to impose upon the world would deny basic things that we take for granted: freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, the equality of dignity of all people before God, the equality of rights of men with women.
Women especially are in a predicament in the Muslim world.
I have decided to challenge and bring Allah to justice on serious charges like discrimination against women.
Where is the Muslim feminists? Very few of them exist.
Sharia law does not allow equality of rights for non-Muslims and for women.
If the reputation of Islam is that it oppresses women and discriminates against them, then logically, it should attract more males than females. But it doesn't. It attracts more women than men. So what is the secret? What in the world attracts women to Islam?